Welcome back to the Perfect Season Podcast. It's the Super Amazing Podcast, talks about everything, all things sports related, nothing to do with milk and cookies. My name is Alex. You're joined today with Antonio and Frankie. Gentlemen, week 3 predictions were not good to anybody except for one.
Yes.
I know it's not me.
It's somebody in here.
I know who it is.
Who is it, Frankie?
You might as well hand me that king's crown. Just give me the king's robe, and give me the throne that they used for the ruler of the jungle ceremony on Sunday when the Bengals reel in the Dolphins and end their run at perfection, just like the 72 team did.
Yeah. Enjoy 1 and 3.
Watch it be a tie. Watch a tie happen.
Could?
It could, but I would be very upset.
I know both of you gentlemen would take a tie over a loss.
I would take a loss over a tie any day.
I would take a loss over a tie.
Whoever wins this game basically gets bragging rights for the whole week.
Yeah. Within reason.
All right, run through the standings in week 3 because yours truly picked some upsets and he got them right.
You picked a lot of upsets, Frankie, where you stood alone or alone with one person and you were right. So this was weekly standings for week 3. I finished second in week standings at 7 and 9.
How about that?
Yeah, Anthony and Leon tied third place at 6 and 10. Frankie, Mr. Frankie, finishing 12 and 4 on the week. So now,
not bad.
For now, all-time standings of this year so far, we have first place. We have Mr. Frankenstein himself. He's 29, 18 and 1.
Let's go.
Anthony is still on there. He's second, 25, 22 and 1. I'm third at 23, 24 and 1. Leon, 22, 25 and 1. Frankie going off with an early lead.
How's it feel to be in the bottom of the barrel?
I'm not bottom of the barrel, so.
Well, out of the 3 of us here, you are.
Oh, cry me a river, Anthony. How the Bucks and Raiders doing?
Exactly.
All right. So with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and get it off. Probably the best game of the week so far. And Frankie, I bet you could agree with me on this. Thursday Night Football, Miami Dolphins, Cincinnati Bengals.
It's a great matchup. And I mean, you talk about Amazon Prime Video. For the first 2 broadcasts have been amazing. Now you get Burrow versus Tua for the first time in the NFL. And you get a 3-0 Dolphins team that's catching the league by surprise and a Bengals team that's apparently getting things right. So a great matchup to start the week. I'm going to pick the Bengals because I don't think Miami, after their defense being on the field for 90 plays and traveling, if the Bengals take away the deep ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and make Miami go methodical, that's not going to go well. Give me the Bengals 31-21.
I'll put my 2 cents in. Why I'm taking the Bengals. Because Bengals don't have to travel. Speaking of Miami, they have a short week. You got practice. I don't know if they're going to do joint practice with Tampa or whatnot. I don't know how that's going to work because Tampa's in Miami for practicing and everything. But Miami probably has like 1 to 2 practice days in Miami itself. Then the next 2 practice days in Cincinnati. And they're not going to be acclimated to the weather. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Cincinnati.
Probably nice 70 degrees, I would say.
It's gonna be perfect weather. Perfect night for football, if you ask me.
If maybe a little cold weather game. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like cold.
A little light breeze. Light breeze. I get cold with anything under 70.
Okay.
Give me Cincinnati. 37-34.
Ooh.
I like the high scoring, but I'll tell you exactly why I don't think
just like Clemson over Wake Forest.
You guys almost lost. I don't want to hear it out of you.
That was a stressful game.
But we got game day.
We're waiting for your long-awaited, hopefully not biased pick in this Thursday Night Football matchup.
You know what? And you want me to be? Here's the thing, Frankie. It's not
Alex is confused. Alex is confused. He doesn't know who to pick.
I don't know who to pick. My God. Not only is it a Thursday night game.
The Bills beating the Dolphins.
So did everybody else except for Leon.
Well, Leon's smart.
Leon was smart.
Leon's been MIA for the past 5 months.
He'll be back. And here's the thing. I've picked Miami week 1. I picked against Miami week 2 and week 3. That's just because honestly, I didn't think Miami was going to be able to beat Baltimore. I didn't think Miami was going to be able to beat Buffalo. But I was very much surprised with that, obviously. Here's the thing.
So you're picking against Miami?
You don't let me finish.
I'd finish your sentences for you.
No, you don't, because I'm not agreeing with what you just said. All right. Here's the thing. Miami scores 21 points on 20 minutes against Buffalo. Buffalo is a very good team. I'll be the first person to say that. We were able to put 42 points on a Ravens team with a very below average defense, surprisingly enough. And then we put 20 points on the Patriots defense. Now, Cincinnati, I would say, has a top 16 defense. I would say so. Don't ask me where, but I would definitely say within top 16 somewhere. But with that being said, I gotta pick Miami. I'm sorry. I mean, Miami's been rolling. The 3-0. If anything, I'm gonna say this: it's gonna be a close game. All the Miami games except for the Ravens game has been very low scoring. I'm gonna take 24-21 Miami, beating Cincinnati in Cincinnati Thursday night.
Even on the short week.
I mean, Cincinnati's on a short week too. The only difference is that we're the away team and Cincinnati's the home team. I don't really see how the short week really flies.
Fair enough.
All right. Minnesota at New Orleans. We have the first London game of the year.
Minnesota.
Boy, was I wrong on the Saints after week 1.
Yeah, we were all wrong about the
Saints are terrible.
I'm gonna take the Saints because I don't know how healthy Dalvin Cook is.
But remember this. Minnesota has beaten New Orleans how many times in the past couple of matchups?
It's been
since the Minneapolis Miracle.
I know New Orleans won in 2020. Minnesota won in 2019 in the playoffs. New Orleans won in 2018 in the regular season. Minnesota won both meetings in 2017.
I'm still taking Minnesota. I'm riding with who has the series advantage.
Now, here's the thing. I will agree with Frankie in the terms of Dalvin Cook being injured as a factor. However, I think the other factor of Alexander Mattison is very underappreciated. And then also when you look at what the Saints have done since their week 1 win and what Minnesota has done, I got to take Minnesota in this matchup. I know Kirk Cousins is not the save-all, and he performs horribly outside of 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock games, but I don't see Jameis doing anything this game.
Jameis, like I have said before, Jameis is back to being Jameis. Jameis is terrible.
The lace-up wore off. Anyway, Seattle at Detroit.
I'll take Detroit.
I will take Detroit as well.
I think Detroit gets it together this week.
It's not a matter of getting it together. I just think they need to start finishing games.
Exactly. The Jets at Pittsburgh.
Another interesting matchup.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
See, I'm gonna say I don't know who to take.
I'm not confident in that game though.
I'm not confident in that game either, but
I'm not confident in either team that I choose.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I'll take New York.
Ooh.
Interesting. Chicago at the Giants, and I'm going to be the first person to say this. Yes, I've been overrating the Giants. I don't think the Giants are good. Give me the Giants because I know that the Giants are better than Chicago.
Scary part is whoever wins this game is 3-1.
I don't like that. Those are two teams that don't deserve to be 3-1.
Give me New York. Riding with the New York teams this week.
I'm gonna take the Giants because I actually like the way they played against the Cowboys last night.
They played
a good football game.
They played well. Tennessee at Indianapolis, both teams in the South, divisional matchup with two teams that have gotten their team. They've turned around. They're starting to turn things around. Who's going to turn it around better?
Tennessee.
Indianapolis.
Let's not forget the road team dominates this rivalry.
That's usually how that kind of happens. It's in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, but Indy's got their home fans. At least they have some fans.
Has that mattered the last 3 years against Tennessee? No.
No. You know what? I think King Henry is going to awake from the dead for the second week in a row. Give me Tennessee.
He needs to.
For his fantasy owners, he needs to.
There's a sports talk show host in Nashville who said that he would rather be a Titans fan than a Bengals fan when those two teams were both 0-2.
Interesting take.
I don't completely.
I mean, at least Cincinnati has a quarterback.
Yeah, like I take Joe Burrow over Ryan Tannehill any day.
Tannehill's washed.
The Titans play in the worst division in football, though.
Agreed.
But you have to ride Tannehill in this situation because Malik's not ready for the NFL.
By the way, here's how bad
Trey Lance.
Here's how overrated the AFC West is. The AFC South beat 3 teams in it last week.
And the AFC South and the AFC West lost. Well, except for Denver.
And Denver should have lost.
And Denver
Who's in first place?
The
in
Chiefs still.
Damn.
Chiefs are still in first. Denver's in second.
Chiefs are tied with Denver, and that's not really saying that much.
No, it's not. Chargers at Houston.
Well, the Chargers can't afford to have happened what happened in Week 16 last.
Do you start Herbert?
No.
Well,
give me Houston. Give me Houston.
I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm smarter than that.
Yeah, but remember what happened last year?
Yeah, I remember what happened. I remember what happened last year.
The Bengals lost the Jets last year. Look what happened last week. The Bengals beat them by 15.
Oh, excuse me. I don't think Houston's defense is not competent enough. They've had success against Chicago, but it's Chicago's offense. Chargers need to win this game, or else I would write them off as a non-playoff team. Cleveland at Atlanta.
Sneaky good game.
Give me Atlanta. Atlanta gets together.
I'm going to take Cleveland. Atlanta's defense isn't doing it for me. Cleveland is going to. They got some rest. Like they could be 3-0 right now. That they're better than you think, and that's scary for a lot of teams in the AFC North, and the AFC. I'm going to take Cleveland.
I don't like how well Cleveland has been playing, especially with Brissett. But I'm also taking Cleveland. They got Chubb. Their defense is unstoppable. Not unstoppable, but their defense is definitely a factor.
Well, the problem is Myles Garrett. We don't know his status for Sunday's game.
Yes, he did get in that car accident.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was a bad one. But he's fine. I hear he's okay. But It's just a matter of if he's going to be ready.
But they also lost Anthony Walker last week. That's a key difference.
That was a bad one.
Denzel Ward has been terrible this season. So
Denzel Ward has not proven himself. Even with all those factors, Cleveland's defense still has their stuff more together than Atlanta. Outside of AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett, I couldn't name you a single person on that defense.
Exactly.
Washington at Dallas.
Terrible game. I think Dallas is going to smoke Washington. Like, here's the thing. Carson Wentz was sacked 9 times by Philly's defense last week. Guess who he gets to face this week? Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Exactly.
Is it time they start Sam Howell?
No.
It's not that bad.
It's time that Dan Snyder sells the teams that can focus on football. Maybe they'll win some games.
Or maybe get a new stadium.
Here's the thing. I think this is true. But correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. I think they have 1 playoff win since they won the Super Bowl in 1991.
Damn.
Who?
They have more than Detroit.
Who, Washington or Dallas?
I'm saying Washington. Dallas is 3.
Oh, sorry, that's better. Yeah, I'm taking Dallas in this. Anthony?
It pains me to say this. Dallas.
Oh, okay, good.
What to say?
I was going to say, if you pick Washington, I was
waiting for him to say, oh, my God, Carson Wentz is going to repeat the Indianapolis season. You know what? I'm not going to lie. This one could be an interesting game. Jacksonville at Philadelphia.
It really.
I like what I've been seeing out of both teams. And like I'm stating before, Jacksonville ruins Philly's undefeated streak, and Cincy ruins Miami's undefeated streak.
Agreed, and I'm picking Jacksonville for that reason.
Trevor Lawrence has played 2 really good games.
And I worry about Philadelphia not scoring in the second half.
And Jacksonville is going to take advantage of that.
Exactly. They've outscored their last 2 opponents 62-10. That's not a fluke.
And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I also got to go Jacksonville.
Like, don't get me wrong, Philly's taking the division, but give me Jacksonville.
Philadelphia has been absolutely fantastic this season, but
Jalen Hurts is a franchise quarterback.
Agreed.
Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he's also a dark horse candidate for MVP.
Anthony, remember when I said Devontae Smith was going to be a bust? I eat words now.
Yeah.
169 yards and a touchdown off of 8 receptions. Yeah.
And all y'all are gonna eat your words when I keep telling you Philly's taking the division.
I mean, I think you're right, but what I'm telling you is Dallas is much better than we thought they were going to be when Dak Prescott went down.
Exactly. All right, potential game. Well, there's so many good games this week. Buffalo at Baltimore.
Really interesting, and
Buffalo gets it back.
I'm going to have my eye on this game because the Bengals play at the Ravens next week, Sunday Night Football, which could be a massive game. I'm going to take Buffalo for this reason. I think Buffalo is going to come out red hot, pissed off about the game last week. And here's the thing. Buffalo's defense is going to give Lamar Jackson a lot of problems. You know why? Because they don't blitz. What they're going to do, they're not going to blitz. They're just going to rush 4, right? And they're going to load the box to stop the run and make Lamar throw down the field, which he's done better at.
Yes,
but I'm going to take Buffalo, and I think it's going to be an ultra competitive game. But I think Buffalo wins.
Give me Buffalo.
I'm also going to take Buffalo. I think Buffalo is going to expose the Baltimore defense rather than Baltimore offense exposing Buffalo defense. Buffalo defense is going to be healthy. And like Frankie said, the Buffalo defense is going to be hot, similar to half of their players with heat exhaustion last week.
If Buffalo stayed hydrated.
And they're going to learn from their last week loss and have lots of electrolytes for this game.
Stephon Diggs will go off this week. Watch.
I think he will. I think Stephon Diggs is going to do very well.
Don't tell me the Ravens secondary is good. It's not.
No, I know it's not.
Marlon Humphrey's good, but he's not as great as people make him out to be.
No, and there's nobody else on the. Well, Patrick Queen. But anyway, Arizona at the Carolina Panthers.
This is actually an interesting game. Well, I don't like Carolina.
It's an interesting game.
Give me Carolina in this game. I'm sensing upset here. I don't like Arizona going all the way out to Charlotte, 4:00 game. I like Carolina.
Give me Carolina because Arizona has to travel over to. They have to travel over to Carolina. Carolina's on the East Coast.
Guys, Arizona last week should have won that game. Could have won that game against Los Angeles. They just kicked 4 field goals. Like Matthew Stafford didn't even throw a touchdown, and it felt like LA was in control the whole game.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I mean, the Panthers are coming off of a win against New Orleans.
How impressive of a win is that, though?
Not a very impressive win. I'm not even going to lie to you. Arizona is 1-2 right now. Yes, 1-2. Their only win coming against the 0-3 Raiders.
0-3.
They should be 0-3. However,
the Raiders should be 1-2.
Modern Warfare 2 is out. We all know how Kyler gets about video games when new Call of Duty games are released. So with that reason, I don't like that we've all picked the same matchup the past 4 games, but I'm also going to take Carolina.
All right.
Denver at the Raiders.
Huge game.
Vegas gets it together. They get it together.
I mean, if you think I'm buying into Denver after that game last week, no way.
Denver got a fluke win.
They've scored barely over 14 points a game this season. At least the Raiders have crossed over 20 twice. Give me the Raiders in a close one.
Raiders take it 27-23.
Well, you're biased, so your pick doesn't even count. At least
I'm not biased. You're biased about the Bengals too.
And well, I'll pick them to lose when I feel like they're going to lose.
Anthony, every single week so far, you picked the Raiders.
Okay, I'm still taking them.
Did you take them last week? I'm sorry, I'm looking to make sure that you took them last week. Yeah, you did. But we all took the Raiders last week, so
but we all Yeah.
You know what? I can't believe I'm saying this. You know what? I got to break away from the pack here. You know, we've been picking the same team.
Last
same
year,
matchup,
the last
4.
Before you make that pick, Alex. Past couple of games, the Raiders have beaten the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Raiders won 17-13. They won 34-24, and then they won 32-31.
Yeah, I mean, those are all impressive.
They're going to go
you
for
also
4
have to realize something, Anthony. Since Peyton Manning's season in 2015, the Broncos have not had a quarterback.
Just like Cleveland.
Yeah, but they need a head coach.
Exactly. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Cleveland had a quarterback, but then they did him wrong and traded him.
Exactly. Baker Mayfield did not deserve to be traded.
No.
So with that being said, please pardon my next few comments. I don't think the Raiders are going to get a turnaround. Josh McDaniels does not deserve a head coaching position. But that
Correct.
being said, and I have to emphasize this, but Broncos country, let's ride. I'm picking Denver.
All right. Next.
My pen isn't working. Yeah, do I even need to ask about this one? We have the New England Patriots at the Green Bay Packers.
You do need to ask about this one. I actually am excited to watch this game because it's New England. It might be Bill Belichick's last time coaching at Lambeau Field. It's two great franchises. I don't think New England is going to be as bad as people think. If they can make it through, if this stretch without Mac Jones, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I was actually impressed with their fight last week against a superior, talented Ravens team. But you look at their next few games. They've got at Green Bay this week, which actually is a winnable game. Then they host Detroit. They're at Cleveland. They're home against Chicago. They're at the Jets, home against the Colts, home against the Jets. They can make it through that stretch with a winning record, Alex. You never know.
I agree with that, but my main concern is, Mac Jones is he's not going to be playing the next couple games.
Listen, Brian Hoyer's a capable backup quarterback. He's been in the league a long time. That doesn't mean I'm picking New England. I'm going to pick Green Bay to win this game, but it's going to be pretty dang close.
I got to
pick Green Bay. Hate to say it.
I'm picking Green Bay in this game because week one, if I'm going to say anything, Green Bay in week one has always been proven to be a fluke. It happened last year. It happened again this year. They're 2-1. They just got off of a road win against Tampa Bay. It was not a very good game to say the least. 14-12.
Tampa should have won.
But I'm going to take Green Bay in this one as well.
All right, what we got?
Kansas City at Tampa Bay Bucks.
Sunday night. Did you see the Sunday night promo with the whoever that artist was in his guitar piece for the advertisement for the game?
I did not yet.
Not gonna lie, that gave me some chills.
Did y'all see in the Bucks game when they were showing the two cartoon characters of Brady and Rodgers and how jacked they made Brady?
No, I didn't really watch that game.
But here's the thing. Tampa Bay has 3 offensive touchdowns this year. 3. And let's be honest, they're going up against a defensive front that can get after the quarterback. I'm picking Kansas City, but I'm probably going to regret that.
Okay, think about it like this. Tampa's defense is one of the best defenses in the whole league.
Yeah, but
week 1, they held Dallas to 3 points. Week 2, they held New Orleans to 10 points.
Not saying
and then
much.
They shut Green Bay out in the second half. They only allowed 14 points.
Okay.
So if Tampa can hold it together, fix some minor adjustments, Tampa takes it. And Tampa's getting Evans back. They're going to get Julio back. Hopefully Godwin.
Has Julio Jones been the same since 2016?
No, he has not.
Julio has a torn PCL, but Todd Bowles said he could play this week.
Julio Jones has a torn career. I don't want to hear it. Torn PCL.
And we'll get Donovan Smith back this week. So I'm taking Tampa. They always bounce back after a loss.
So taking into account what Anthony just said, is the Tampa Bay defense good? Yes, that's given. Go off of what Frankie said, that the Bucs offense has only had 3 offensive touchdowns. Passing touchdowns or offensive touchdowns?
Offensive touchdowns.
Which makes that even worse. Kansas City, despite having a bad game last week, 17 points. You also have to remember, week 1, 44 points. Week 2, 27 points. Kansas City's offense is more dynamic than it's been in the past couple of years. And here's the other thing, Anthony. The Bucs defense is not going up against a guy like Chad Henne or Ryan Tannehill, all these not really good quarterbacks,
They were
going up against Patrick Mahomes in his prime.
They're going up against Patrick Mahomes in his prime.
I think both of y'all are forgetting what we did in the Super Bowl against them.
Yeah. Do you know how much better your roster was in that game than it is going to be going into this game?
Yeah.
I will argue that our defense now.
Kansas City was missing 2 offensive linemen who start in that game.
Yeah, but even if they have those 2 offensive linemen,
forget about that.
Even if those 2 offensive linemen were in that game, Tampa still would have taken that Super Bowl.
Well, regardless of who's going to win that Super Bowl, I'm putting Kansas City. I made the claim earlier this season, before the season, that Kansas City's offense is going to do better than what they were last year. Patrick Mahomes has more good weapons in comparison to two superstars. He still has Kelsey, Juju Smith-Schuster, Michael MVS, Sky Moore, Mecole Hardman. I mean, that's I'm not saying it's the best wide receiver core, but it's certainly pretty good.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon are an underrated running back tandem.
I'm still not sold on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I will say that's a pretty decent tandem. But with that being said, I got to pick Kansas City in this matchup. I mean, the Bucs defense is great, but I mean, it's always hard to stop a guy like Patrick Mahomes.
And they're going to stop him this week.
Okay. Well, we will see that at the end of Sunday nights
when Tampa takes the throne.
Please tell me the score is not going to be 7-5 in the fourth quarter.
It's definitely going to be better than the Denver game.
I didn't know last week the Giants were playing the Rockies on Sunday Night Football. I hope it's not Royals versus Rays this week.
I know. We don't want any more baseball scores, that's for sure. Monday Night Football, NFC West divisional matchup, the LA Rams at the 49ers.
Rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Great way to close out week 4. The only reason why I'm taking San Francisco is because just when I'm ready to write them off, they win this kind of game. Mm-hmm. You watch, they will make this game an ugly game. They'll run the football. I think George Kittle makes an impact in this game. I think Deebo Samuel has the game. San Francisco wins this game.
I'm agreeing with you on this because San Francisco, they're going to come out strong this game. It's a revenge game from last year in the playoffs.
Key point there, Anthony.
Remember I can't speak. San Francisco should have won that game. San Francisco should have won, but they didn't. And this week, San Francisco takes it. They're going to dominate the Rams. They're going to dominate by 2 touchdowns and a field goal. San Francisco wins 27-17.
Give me the Rams. The Rams haven't really proved to me that they were like the Super Bowl-esque team of last year. I think this is going to be their turnaround game. Cooper Kupp is going to get 2 touchdowns, 100+ yards. Allen Robinson is going to get no targets with no catches. Ben Skoranek is probably going to get a touchdown. Cam Akers is going to make an impact again. What else?
Jalen Ramsey is going to get burned.
No.
Ramsey is going to be all over Deebo.
That's exactly.
And I'm taking Deebo in that match.
That's what he should be doing. But I'm sorry, but I'm going to take the Rams.
Well, of course you are.
Okay, Mr. Bucs Raiders. All right. Is that it? That's it.
I think that's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to host another episode of the Perfect Season Podcast. Thank you so much for enjoying. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription. Tell us what you think about your records for these games. We'll be back next week with the same thing that we always do, overview and predictions.
College football episode coming.
College football episode, Madden, all of that good stuff is going to be posted throughout the week.
We'll have more people on next week for college, hopefully.
But with all that being said, that'll be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.